I'm going to PreLoaded, a show where we talk about upcoming games, their new features, and old problems.
Today we are talking about the movie tie-in type game, Mad Max, developed by Avalanche Studios and published by Warner Brothers Interactive.
I'm scared.
Kieran is scared. So Kieran, Mad Max.
I don't want it to suck.
What, this video or the game?
Thanks for having me.
Wow, that's
No,
quick.
I'm just afraid because any movie tie-in, well, it's not specifically a movie tie-in. It's more or less a, what would you say?
Sort of a circumstantial tie-in.
Yeah, it's definitely a circumcision kind of tie-in where we.
Circumcision kind of
where
tie-in.
we.
Yep. Where they chop off the end and.
Hey, oh no, I'm just worried because, like, I don't know. It just seems cheap to me because it came out. It was really all of a sudden. How long ago was it released? Was it?
It was announced E3 last year.
Oh wow, time flies.
A lot of people, including myself, saw the start of the E3 trailer. You see obviously the car in the desert and you're like, oh okay, Fallout 4's been announced, and then it's not, and your heart kind of sinks, but that problem's been alleviated since.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean, like with licensed games, there tends to be the sort of thing where they can be quite crappy.
Yes.
And obviously with the hype and the praise that Fury Road has got,
That's
which is out in the US today as well.
An issue is the hype surrounding Mad Max because it looks great on paper, but it's just it's a title which has a name which is famous, and that's just not something that ties well in the world of games. So
yeah, you look at a lot of things like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings specifically.
Yeah, there's a lot of titles and franchises that have had games that just have been complete crap.
But then at the same time,
I agree, Phone. Very interesting.
Shadow of Mordor gives me a lot of faith when it comes to tie-ins, because Shadow of Mordor is like a new IP and like a new idea just based in the universe, and this seems to be pretty similar, I'd say.
Yeah, so you've got Warner Bros. Entertainment publishing the game, and they've been on team for not only Middle of Earth, Shadow of Mordor, like we just mentioned,
which is like probably my. Did it come out this year or last year?
Last year.
No way.
Yeah, last year.
Wow, but it's probably, I'd say it was my game of the year. Last year.
It was definitely one that no one was expecting to be as good as it was.
It's great.
Again, that's pre-existing property that they've taken and done really well with. They've done the same with the Batman games. So you look at Asylum. They just had Arkham Knight come out a couple months ago in June,
and they've all been
superb.
Like when I literally have to like pinch myself and say this game comes from an established universe. Like this is a tie-in to something everyone loves, and they nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Batman. There's the free flow combat is something a lot of games have taken since.
Good.
You've got the Amazing Spider-Man games have done it. Obviously, Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor has done it. Assassin's Creed had a sort of similar thing to start with, but that's gone more down the route this has. And Mad Max does the same. So
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
people seem to complain and say that it's too cinematic and it doesn't require much effort, but I would much rather see it. To be fair, it gets challenging, and when they add in the extra like enemies, like in Batman, when you get the shield guys and the stun sticks, those are hard.
Yeah.
But I'd much rather the cool cinematic combat than
exactly.
I mean, it just looks so cool.
Yeah, I mean the difference with this one is you look at the gameplay for it, and Mad Max has that combat, but it's a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Like if he goes to punch someone, it feels like he's broken every bone in his body.
That's exciting.
It's a lot more brutal than you'd see in Batman, for example, where he's just knocking people out. This is him fighting for his life. He's literally punching their lights out. So
and there's like executions with weapons, I think, something like that. And
it's like shiv executions.
Yeah. That's lovely to me. That just sounds incredible.
It's a nice way of making it slightly different from the stuff we've already seen. But yeah, I mean, other things you've got to consider for the game as well. Obviously, you've got that free flow, third-person exploration and combat.
Yeah.
You've then obviously the big part is going to be vehicular exploration and combat.
I think I'm concerned about vehicle combat because I don't really like vehicle combat in most games. Like in Borderlands, it felt.
I was going to make that comparison as well. Yeah.
It's just bland to me, very like repetitive, and you just use the same buttons to do the same things, and it's just, to me, vehicle combat. The best, like Arkham Knight's vehicle combat was the only one I enjoyed because even though it was still quite repetitive, very repetitive, it still felt really fun.
Yeah, I mean the using the vehicle in Arkham Knight was good. It was only the tank stuff that was really monotonous because you have to
that was
chase around the arse of a big tank and shoot it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, Borderlands. When you get to the arid Badlands where Ellie is in Borderlands 2?
Yeah. When you get
you fight the first vehicles. You're like, oh, this is awesome. This is really cool. You got to chase them down, blow them up, and then after a while it just becomes a chore.
Yeah,
there's no challenge in it. It's just you pump stuff into it until it's dead, and then that could be the case here.
Chore is definitely the right word when it comes to certain combat, but I think the addition of like there's way more upgrades and like. That's what I mean. I've tried to stay away from it because I like to go in blind, but I know there's vehicular upgrades and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll just keep me like going to get the next thing.
Yeah.
And that'll keep me interested.
Yeah, it's not like it's not something that's put on the back burner like it was in Borderlands 2.
Exactly.
It's a key mechanic of the game, so they're going to have to put a lot of time into it, and it's something that you're going to be spending a lot of time doing, getting upgrades. Finding parts and choosing between all the stuff that's there.
Because there's looting of each of like scrap metal which you use to like repair and upgrade and all this kind of thing, which is awesome, which I enjoy a lot. And with Avalanche Studios developing, like with Just Cause 3 coming out soon and looking like awesome, it's just more hype ensues my body about Mad Max.
Yeah.
So
I mean, obviously, it's both games. They're big open world games in the desert. It's when it comes to the aesthetic, they're going to have it nailed down.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
It's just perfect because Just Cause 2 was cool. So
yeah, exactly. You get to see more of the same later this year as well. You know that they're going to apply that to this project.
Good point.
So
good point.
It's going to be pretty good. But I can see what you mean about concerns for vehicle combat. If it doesn't work, it's basically 50% of the game.
Yeah.
So they need to make sure they nail it down. Obviously, at time of recording, we haven't played it yet. We're going to be, and we'll be uploading the verdict later on. But like as of right now, we don't know what the combat's going to be like in cars.
No,
we've seen it, but one of the main issues was review embargoes. There were no reviews for the game.
Shady.
Until supposed to be the morning before release, but because of time differences in regions, effectively the morning of the release here in the UK. I've read a couple of them and it's sort of hit and miss. You've got a couple of sort of 7s and 8s, but then you've also got a couple of 5s and...
See, this is where I try and stay away from reviews because to me, I don't see how the same game can get a 5 from one person and an 8 from another, because all reviews are is just opinion.
Yeah.
It's on whether the certain person enjoys that certain style of game.
Exactly.
So I tend not to listen to them.
If you had someone review Nintendogs that only plays first-person shooters...
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But if you ask the biggest Nintendogs fan to review Nintendogs, it's going to get a 10.
Yeah.
But, that being said, I still think that a review embargo definitely is bad news.
Yeah, you look at things, Ubisoft games, for example, Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs.
Exactly. It's done for a reason. They wouldn't if they were proud of their product, they would let people review it, and they're confident on how good what they've made is.
Yeah, it is bizarre that they've held it back if they're still getting good reviews.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can't be that much of a concern. It's maybe, I was thinking because Fury Road comes out the same day as the game in the US. We don't get it for another month, but they've got the DVD I think today because they were doing combo packs that came with the game.
Oh, I see.
I'm wondering if they've sort of held off so that even people that are buying, say people are buying Fury Road, they'll be like, oh, I'll pick up the game as well. And they won't really have seen anything about it, so they're using that trust
Yeah, I see. Well,
to net sales for it. But it's a weird one because it's getting such across-the-board reviews.
Yeah, I guess I think across-the-board reviews, like I say, are down to opinion and the fact that it's a movie kind of tie-in and it's a universe tie-in to an established universe. There's going to be die-hard fans out there that aren't going to like it for certain reasons.
Yeah.
But you also have the people out there that just don't like things for the sake of not liking things. That's life. That's how games work these days. So. Awkward.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not really going to go with star ratings or number ratings, we'll go on sort of expanded verbal opinion. Yeah. So
yeah, like whether you should buy it or not. I'd say we're trustworthy sources because
we're people that play games, love games.
Yeah, we have a better opinion than you.
Obviously.
No, not that at all. That's what I feel like most reviews try and say, which is why I don't believe in using reviews as like a way to go. But we're very average consumers.
Yeah, we'll take it as a whole. Like some people split it down into factors, so it's like, oh, the visuals are okay, but the gameplay sucks. We'll just take it as a whole.
Definitely.
So obviously, so far we're going to see what happens.
I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the more I saw of this game, they did a lot of, you'll see on places like IGN and Polygon and Game Informer, they had like hour chunks of the game. They were like streaming
like
it.
70-minute gameplays.
You see those big chunks of the game and you get really excited for it because it shows more of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a review, but you get an understanding of what you can expect.
Yeah, I really like when we were watching like a video, we were just skipping through it to see like if we were concerned that there wasn't much to do in the wasteland. So I just found a video and I was skipping through it, and at the start of the video he had this like rickety car that was like rusty, and like we skipped into like an hour later and he's got this chrome car that's really nice. So.
Yeah, exactly. It was, for example, something I'd not seen talked about in any previews or anything like that was the sandstorms.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's a thing.
That's new to me.
Yeah, so there was this thing that was uploaded on PlayStation, the YouTube channel for them, and it was like 7 things you must do, and at number like 3 was drive into a sandstorm. See, I would not have had a clue if I hadn't looked around because of the review embargoes. You drive into it and it goes, like you see it on the horizon, there's these huge clouds.
like the movie.
Yeah, exactly, they said that in there. And like you see the lightning striking down,
you
see all these pieces of metal and debris sort of flying through the air.
And about 4 FPS, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that could be a worry.
I was scared about that.
But that's something we wouldn't have known about because of the review embargo, really.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
So, yeah, we're just going to have to see what happens. Like you said, frame rates, a couple of the complaints we have seen from a couple of reviews we've read. One of them was frame rate issues. That is yet to be seen. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, me and Dan are both we'll be playing on PS4.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think you said that FPS issues seem to be Xbox One based.
From what I could tell from the reviews, yeah, that, I could be wrong, but what I could see from the reviews is I didn't see any mention of that in people that had a PS4 review copy. When I say review copy, they only got it
the day.
Near of the day. But we'll see what happens. It could be an existing thing on all of them.
I guess
it could be that you could play the entire game and not have that once. It could be that you play it and you have it lots. It could vary.
That's a good point. I wonder how much of a random event, like random.
It must just be whenever something gets really hectic.
Yeah.
Sandstorms are most likely.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm imagining it gets pretty hectic. I've seen like big 5 truck convoys being taken down. So
yeah,
this is that.
So that could be cool. A few other issues that we've seen, we're going to investigate. Some claims, like from the reviews I've seen that are bad, it's people that aren't really Mad Max fans. So
yeah, that's what I mean.
They've been saying they don't enjoy the car combat, but if you're a Mad Max fan,
it's like a staple of Mad Max.
Exactly. Other things are something that a lot of open world games have. The sort of outside side quests, the little tasks. So,
kind of Assassin's Creed style waypoints and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So in this one, there's these like scarecrow things. They're like metal structures that gangs use to, I'm guessing, to sort of mark their territory. And if you've got to like lower the power they have in a region, you have to pull those down. You've got a winch on your car.
That's actually very Just Cause.
Yeah, Just Cause.
You bring down the statues and you claim like more territory and then that makes sense.
So it's like I can understand why some people might not like that, but it's one of those things that you tend to see in open world games anyway. Far Cry 4 had the posters and the shrines. I never got around to doing those, but whenever I saw them there, I definitely do them.
That's definitely not an issue. I don't see why that would be an issue. That's even if it's tedious stuff to do, it's more stuff to do.
Yeah,
that's not a problem. That's definitely not an issue.
No one in their right mind will complain about more things to do, really, unless it really was.
And if you do, you're definitely nitpicking, I think, because even if, like you say, even if it's awful, it's still stuff to do. Just do it. It's something to do.
Exactly. Now, it is worth mentioning that there is another game that won't be preloaded by us. It came out the same day, which is
Metal Gear 5.
That infamous Hideo Kojima project. Yeah, so that I think is going to take a toll on Mad Max as well.
Yeah, I was because didn't they bring it back to release today?
Oddly, yeah, I think it was supposed to come out on the 4th, and they moved it to the 1st.
Very strange decision. I'm like a huge Metal Gear fan. I have like a horrid relationship with Metal Gear 5 because
divorced, kids, No,
I was just angry at the whole treatment of Kojima and David Hayter because.
See, recently there's been reports of what it's like working for Konami, and apparently it's god awful. If you do things they don't approve of, you're cleaning toilets. things like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully that sort of thing hasn't affected the game itself. But obviously the fact that that is a big title, very well established franchise.
A way bigger title. That game is like
years.
on most people's most anticipated. It got like, a bunch of E3 most anticipated awards, whereas Mad Max seems to be quietly
snuck in there.
I'm not sure if they tried to compete, because if they did, that's not going to work. This is Metal Gear Solid. This is like
it's one
of the biggest franchises in gaming history, literally.
If you look at the new Tomb Raider, that's out. That's a single player game out on November 10th, the same day as Fallout 4.
Yeah, and
which
it's going to get buried. And it doesn't help that it's coming out as Xbox One only.
Yeah.
It's coming out as a timed exclusive against Fallout 4, which is just going to be everything.
Goliath.
It's just gonna it's gonna just take over the world.
8 years of hype behind it. It's gonna sell.
Yeah. Whereas Tomb Raider, to be fair, I can't wait. I love.
Definitely.
It was amazing.
The little reboot they've started is really good.
Against Fallout 4, I don't care at all. It's Fallout 4 or death that day.
Okay. No, yeah, that's definitely true. Worth mentioning, we will have an unboxing for the Pip-Boy edition as well.
Oh yeah, because you're buying that.
I am, yes.
How much is that costing you?
Well. Should be £100.
That's not too bad.
I get it slightly cheaper for unknown reasons. We know why. You don't need to know. It's not your business. Blowing Tom Howard. So yeah, I mean, you look at like Metal Gear and the Mad Max. I mean, it's like Metal Gear is also out on. Did you know it was out on 360 and PS3?
No.
It's out on 360 and PS3.
Why?
They haven't really talked about it whatsoever. But you've then got Metal Gear, which is on 4 different platforms, versus Mad Max, it's on 5 for Metal Gear for PC. It's on PC, I think it is, isn't it?
Definitely.
And then Mad Max, which is on 3 PC and Xbox One, PS4. Like sales figures wise, Mad Max probably isn't going to do as well as Metal Gear.
Not at all. Same with I don't think Shadow of Mordor sold that well.
No, not brilliantly. It sold more than they thought it would, definitely.
But it was still a really good game, and the people that did have it did enjoy it, and it definitely got its praise.
Yeah, so it sold. I'd imagine it was one of those games that sold a lot after its initial release, because for word of mouth.
For real, it definitely hit a lot of people's games I didn't expect to be awesome lists.
Yeah.
So,
like fighting the chieftains and stuff that will kill you, and then you fight them again. They've moved their way up the ranks. That was a really cool feature that I'd like to see in more games.
It was amazing. I hope, like, people complain about people stealing mechanics. For example, I've seen people when Mad Max come out say that they would just clone in the combat system and cashing in on that. Good.
If it's a good feature.
It's a really good. It's a really good engine. It's like a really good combat system, and I wish more people would steal it.
You've got to consider the more people that use a mechanic, the more it's going to evolve and get better.
I mean. So imagine like a bunch of games pick up the hierarchy system of Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Mad Max would even be a really good way to do that.
Say if you got knocked out in a fight, you end up in a prison, you have to escape, you get out, and then you see that person again, and
he's become like a higher up in his
head
tribe
of a camp
kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. And that would be it. This would be a perfect way to. I'm really disappointed that they haven't done that.
What if we play and it's secretly in there? What if we have read the future?
That would be amazing, but
I don't think it is.
No,
that would have. You'd think that would come in the previews.
But how good would it be?
It would be a really good thing.
So, but I'm just saying, the point of that was that stealing engines isn't a bad thing when it improves the game. So
yeah, definitely. But yeah, so we're going to be playing Mad Max. You might pick up Metal Gear, maybe.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they release David Hayter voice DLC. I'm picking it up, but if not, I think I'm going to try and avoid it. Either that, or I'll wait for it to go down.
Yeah, I mean, you can check out reviews everywhere for Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Because there was no embargo on it. It's getting like 9s, 8s, 9s, 10s across the board.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mad Max is one of the ones where you won't have as good an idea, so you can always check out our verdict, which is always good.
But Mad Max is a baby.
Yeah, you got to give it some space to grow.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a desert, so there's lots of space.
When I have my first child, I'm just going to leave it in the desert and let it grow itself.
Let it grow,
so
come back for a couple of years.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how childbirth works.
Yeah.
And that's how
life works.
That's how games work.
Yeah. Sort of final thoughts, what do you reckon the game's going to be like? What are you estimating it'll be, your expectations wise?
I think I'm going to really, really enjoy it. Like I said, I love Shadow of Mordor, and that was one of the games that had very repetitive mechanics that I enjoyed doing. I like games that have kind of like the waypoints that have a lot of them, and that to me is just something I enjoy doing. And I also think it might be an easy platinum.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I think it's going to be easy platinum. Shadow of Mordor is the first game of platinum on PlayStation since moving from 360.
Exactly. So it's just something that would just be a game I could sit down and just grind through and enjoy. But like same with Shadow of Mordor, I enjoyed grinding it because it was a fun game.
It's a fun game.
So hopefully, yeah, and I can imagine them bringing up some pretty good DLC for this as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they take you to new places.
Yeah.
Like they've said that at the edges of the game world, you can just drive out into the desert and keep going for as long as you like.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet there's tons of Easter eggs out in that desert. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do it so that, say, a dune, like a huge sand dune, shifts out of the way and it reveals a cart that takes you somewhere new.
Like a big city or something.
Yeah, stuff like they've said that certain areas, this is worth mentioning, certain areas are untouched by the apocalypse that's happened in this game and films universe. So we
predicted cities under
like a big shopping mall.
Yeah.
You think like day after tomorrow where they're walking across the ice and there's
just got
that sort of thing.
Like the library and stuff.
Where we'll see loads of stuff hidden away. Nice. So that'll probably crop up in our verdict at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, probably an easy platinum. I'm willing to bet that it's not going to be a game for everyone. If you like open world games, probably worth picking up. If you like apocalyptic games, so say you enjoyed Borderlands, The Last of Us, that sort of thing.
Shadow Model.
Yeah, might enjoy this. But I think it's going to be a acquired taste.
Yeah, I think that it'll be quite niche.
Yeah.
But I bought it on release because I'm excited for it.
Same. We're super cool like that.
So I think that's how that works.
Yeah. So I guess we'll reunite for the verdict. See what happens
after we play. I want to play like a substantial chunk before we make our decisions.
Yeah.
But basically,
it could be that we come back for a verdict and then a later verdict.
Yeah, maybe. That's a good point.
I mean, you said probably platinum it. I'd imagine, knowing my luck, just like Far Cry, I'll finish the story. I'll do a lot of the extra tidbits, like just camps and things like that, but I won't 100% it. But yeah, it'll be an acquired taste. So I'm going for a sort of, pretty good game. Not spectacular, not terrible, not average, but still a really good game.
Maybe I'll surprise us. I think when Shadow Immortal came out, I got pretty average reviews, and then
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was
great.
That was a solid game. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but no, I'm excited.
Me too.
10 out of 10 for excitement.
Yes. As for game, question mark out of 10.
Yeah.
My favourite number.
And that was the Mad Max Preloaded. You can follow us on Twitch at DLCcast. That looked really obvious, but I didn't actually look down there. I was concentrating, not looking at the notepad. I'm sorry if I look unprofessional. But yeah, follow us on Twitch at DLCcast.
Yeah, we'll be doing sort of some live streaming, things like that.
Yeah.
And of course, that'll keep an archive of all our stuff as well. So we've got quite a few projects planned for the Twitch account.
Indeed.
Of course, you can subscribe to the YouTube account. You're probably watching this on as well. If you haven't already. If you have, God bless you, you're wonderful. But yeah, so obviously we'll be uploading content to our YouTube. We've got a nice little schedule, so we have things peppered out through the week.
Yes.
We've got lots of shows planned.
It's quite exciting, actually.
There should be a link sort of in the middle of the
there'll be a link somewhere
right here that will take you to an explanation for what PreLoaded is, as well as our other shows. Cool. So there should be a little link around the middle of the page. That'll take you just to explanations for all the different shows. We've got DL Speech, DL Screen. We've got DLC TLC, which is our sort of sit down and
chill, just hang out.
Yeah, just talk about stuff. A little less formal than this.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll have sort of like highlights and certain things, and the verdicts as well, which is sort of the follow-up from PreLoaded. So you can look all forward to that.
You can look awful.
Yeah, you can look awful for that. But yeah, so that was the end of the first PreLoaded, and you will see our thoughts on. I'm not going to high five you. You'll see our thoughts on Mad Max fairly shortly, and that's all good. And now we need to come up with an outro.
Ouch. There you go.
Can we have the outro be "See you on the download"?
See you on the download.
Yeah.
See you on the download.
So I'm supposed to look at the screen then?
The DL screen.